Hi guys, today we're going to do a quick review of Lewis Leathers jackets. It's a brand I've liked for quite a long time, almost 10 years now. I've got two jackets as you can see. I've got the Corsair on my right, it's a modern one, 2015. And then I've got this vintage Super Phantom. So we're going to look at the history of the brand, have a look at the comparison between these two jackets, whether there's a difference between the vintage and the modern ones in terms of quality. Also going to have a look at the price changes over the years, as well as my general thoughts about the brand and where the brand's going in my opinion. So stick around. So Lewis Leathers has existed in some form since 1892 when the brand was started as D. Lewis, and they made outerwear and menswear such as raincoats and that sort of thing. In the 1930s and 1940s the brand they specialised in like car coats and that sort of thing, and also flight jackets and stuff to wear in planes essentially. And it wasn't until 1960 that the brand became Lewis Leathers and started focusing on being primarily a motorcycle jacket brand. And they're England's oldest motorcycle jacket company, and I believe back in the 1960s if you wanted a black motorbike jacket they were the place to go, and one of the only places you could go in the UK to get one. Over the years they've supplied the police, and also they've been used by many celebrities and pop stars and actors and that sort of thing. For example, Alex Turner of the Arctic Monkeys, pretty much all of the Arctic Monkeys wear them. Iggy Pop, Rolling Stones, Ewan McGregor, Richard Hammond, James May. The list is endless really. A really big fashion brand these days. So the brand has changed over time. It's kind of changed from a utility sort of product to more of a luxury sort of product. I think that definitely has been reflected in the price. So I think I'll start with a look, just for context of my review, of my own association with Lewis Leathers, my own experience with them. I got my first jacket, which was this Corsair, back in 2015. I think I was 15. Maybe it was 2014 I got it. But yeah, I got it in London at the store around Goodge Street. And that was my first jacket. I got it as a gift. I'm very lucky. I've still got my first jacket. I've had a few jackets over the years, and I buy and sell the brand when I can, not professionally or anything, just if I see a good bargain I'll buy it and I'll sell it. So I've probably had about 10 jackets pass through my hands in the last few years anyway. But ones I've owned, as I say, the Corsair. I've had a ladies 1980s jacket, a ladies Diana jacket it was called, that I've had, and I had that for a few years. I had that tailored in the waist to make it a bit more masculine. I had a horsehide cyclone jacket that I got, and I like that one a lot. The last two jackets, they've become too small for me, and this one's too small for me now as well, unfortunately. That's what happens when you buy jackets when you're 16, 17. I've also had lots of jackets. This one is my most recent one, and this is my motorbike jacket now. It's a Super Phantom, around 1973. I got this for a bargain on eBay, about £250 I think. I think it's been in storage for the last 20 years or so. It's really good condition. I'll show some better pictures of it in a bit. But the guy even had a picture of him wearing it when he was 16, so it's a nice bit of history with that. I've also had jackets that fit my sister and my girlfriend. My girlfriend often wears this one now. I had a Monza jacket that my sister wore on my bike when she came out on my bike. And I'm sure I'm probably forgetting other jackets, and I'll put a picture of me wearing them. But yeah, as I say, I've had a history of this brand. I've been a fan of the brand for quite a long time. So that's just some context of my review. So here are some closer up shots of my Corsair jacket. As you can see, it's still really good condition for a jacket that's 7 or 8 years old now. And this is a cowhide leather. The leather at Lewis Leathers, I believe it's between 1.1 and 1.3 millimeters. And they all have this, or most of them have this quilted sailcloth lined, lovely red interior. It's very comfy, very warm. As you can see the AviaKit branding there. And one of the most iconic parts of the jacket that you can spot for miles is the Lewis Leathers logo and the crest. So this jacket, it's quite a versatile jacket. I think it's quite smart. It's also rugged enough to wear it out if you do want to wear it on a bike. I personally wouldn't wear one of the modern ones on the bike these days just because it'll cost you an arm and a leg if you do fall off on it. Whether the leather's strong enough, I'd say probably. You can also get jackets from brands such as Urban Rider, where they take Lewis leathers and they stick pads in them. So that'd be something, if you were wanting a heritage sort of looking jacket, I would advise doing. And in comparison, this is my vintage Super Phantom. And as you can see, this is also great condition. I don't believe this is the original zip, but it's still functional, very functional. And the interior, it's a lighter weight, man-made material, I believe, but good for summer riding anyway. And the main feature I like about this jacket is the elbow and the shoulder pads, which give it a little bit of protection if I was to come off. You could both wear them both on a motorbike if that's what you wanted to do, and they both look good if you just wanted to wear them out and about. That's what I've mostly worn this one, just as a fashion jacket, a la Alex Turner, etc., who has his jacket's actually an Addict leather jacket, but it looks very similar to the Corsair. And I believe Alex Turner wore a vintage Lewis Leathers Corsair in the 2012 Olympic opening ceremony. The more you know. This jacket is very suitable for summer wear, and it's got the nice zips in the sleeves, which I like. It's got the zips there. This one doesn't have it does have an interior pocket. Well, this one also does. It's got a zipped interior pocket. And the quality of Lewis Leathers is very good. It's a chrome tan leather as far as I know. Both of these are cowhide, around the same thickness. This is possibly slightly thinner. I'm not sure if that's just because of the lining, a thinner lining, but I don't think that's indicative of a lower quality. I think it's just probably a different hide. This one's more suitable for summer riding, while this is more of a spring autumn jacket in my opinion, just because it's got the quilted lining. Lewis Leathers, they do a bespoke fitting service where you can go in, get measured up, and they'll make the jacket to your specifications. And I believe you can also do a service where you can customize the jacket a little bit. For example, you could get the Corsair with a thinner lining, for example. So as you can probably tell, I'm a big fan of Lewis Leathers, and I have been for quite a while. However, I do have my criticisms of the brand in the last few years at least, mainly concerning price, but also the transparency of the production methods and the materials. I think is a little bit questionable in my opinion. I've got a little piece of paper here with the prices on just to compare. My jacket, bought new, the Corsair, in 2015, April 2015, was £750, which is quite a lot. There's no getting around that. But it is a good quality heritage brand. They are a fashion brand somewhat, and they are good quality. At £750 for a jacket that's made in London, with the history of the jacket and the celebrity clientele, I feel like you could somewhat justify that. Because there's many jackets that try and replicate this sort of style, but none of them really do it to the same level as Lewis Leathers. However, in 2021, if you want this same jacket in cowhide as this one is, it would cost you today £1,095, which is a difference of £345. In in comparison, if you wanted it in horsehide, it would be £905. So that's the difference. I don't know why the cowhide's so expensive, honestly. I don't know if it's because they primarily use horsehide these days and then the cowhide they source is more expensive, but there is a significant difference between the cowhide and the horsehide, which is something worth bearing in mind if you're going to order a jacket, and maybe look into the characteristics of each leather a little bit more. Yeah, so that's if you want this in cowhide compared to 6 years ago, around 6 years ago, it's going to cost you a difference of £345. Or if you want it in horsehide, it's going to cost you a difference of £155. And as you can see, that's quite a price increase. And as another example, say the Western jacket, in 2015, in April 2015, it was £640 in the cowhide. And now today, if you want that same jacket in cowhide, it's going to cost you £1,040, and that's a difference of £400. Or it's £860 in horsehide, and that's a difference of £220. And whichever way you spin it, I think even if you take into account production costs, that's quite a price increase, and I think that's probably I think it suggests somewhat that the brand's going for more of a fashion commercialized approach rather than a utility approach. I think the brand's always been a fashion brand, at least in the last 20 years anyway, but in the last 5 years, I believe, with the export to the Japanese market, for example, there's a lot more t-shirts, a lot more hats, a lot more merchandise with Lewis leathers, while new styles haven't been really produced except the Memphis jacket, that I believe. While the price has significantly increased. And whether that price is worth it, whether you spend £1,095 on a cowhide Corsair, that's up to you. I can't tell you what to do with your money, but I would say I'm glad I got it when it was that price, and I think it was worth it when it was that price. If you wanted to get a Lewis leathers, I would suggest possibly, if you don't have the money, upwards of £700, £800, £900, to look on eBay. For example, I got this on eBay for £250, possibly £230, which I think is a bargain, especially with knowing the heritage of this jacket and the condition of it. It's not many jackets you see that are in as good a condition from this time period. And on eBay and that sort of thing, you can quite often find second-hand or vintage jackets for around £350, £450. There's some people who'll try and hike the prices massively on eBay. I've noticed, especially in the last year, charging over the retail price, which I think's mental unless it's a very special jacket. But yeah, that would be what I would recommend, looking on eBay, looking on Facebook Marketplace, for example. And you can get bargains, such as this one, and the ones that I pick up for bargains, and I resell, not for extortionate. The most I've ever sold a Lewis leathers jacket second-hand is £400. So I've found them quite a bit cheaper than that, and then I've passed them on. But for comparison, what you can get in terms of other motorcycle jacket brands that are made in the UK, if that's what you're looking for the same price and less. Gold top leather jackets, although I haven't had a gold top jacket, I have been interested in their jackets and looked at them. I need to check the prices because I haven't checked, I should have done. But I believe they're around £400 to £500, and you can get those customized and custom made as well. And they also come, I think, standard now with padding in the back and the elbows, which would be good for if you're thinking of wearing them on the bike. I can't speak for the quality. They look like good quality. The reviews I've seen look like the quality is good, but I don't own one, so don't take my word for it. But I would recommend gold top jackets. Go take a look on Instagram and YouTube. Another jacket company is Aero Scotland. I'm a big fan of Aero leather jackets, especially these days, when my tastes have gone in leather jackets have sort of shifted a bit more from fashion to utility and comfort, basically. Aero leather jackets, they're handmade in Scotland. I believe they're about £700, handmade by one person, and they're very transparent in their production process and their factory. You can go on factory tours. They often post pictures of their Instagram, and they're very transparent with their materials also. There's lots of information online about the different leathers they use, about the customization process, and they've got a very good customer service department as far as I know. I'm sure Lewis Leathers probably has a good bespoke service as well. It's not something I've used before. This jacket was off the peg. This one, obviously vintage. But one thing about Lewis Leathers I have noticed is that they are not as transparent in their production services. I've tried to find where the jackets are produced before, and all I can find, I think they're produced in East London, is what I've found. Although I'm not certain. I've never seen any pictures from inside the factory, never seen any pictures about the production process, etc. And I've not seen any resources on the source of the leather. Although I've seen it's about 1.1 to 1.3 millimeters thick, compared to companies like Aero leather, where they really shout about the different types of leather and the characteristics of the leather. With Lewis Leathers, it's a case of horsehide, sheep, I think Rutland sheep, and the cowhide, obviously. So that's something to bear in mind as well. And if I was owner of Lewis Leathers, or like a PR man for Lewis Leathers, the first thing I would probably do is move production out of London, because I don't think you're gaining much by keeping production in London. With the London prices, I think that probably is a contributing factor for the increase in the hiking prices of Lewis Leathers today. So yeah, move production out of London. I would assume that would be cheaper and you could stop prices going any higher. And also I would increase the transparency of the production process. Let's see what's in the factory, because I think as customers of Lewis Leathers, that's something that people would be interested in seeing how the jackets are made and who buy, and all the materials, for example. Yeah, so in my opinion, I very much like Lewis Leathers. Would I buy one today at the current price? Probably not, is my verdict. I worry that Lewis Leathers has gone down the road of a brand like Belstaff, for example, where it's becoming more commercialised, more mainstream, trying to make themselves a bit more of a luxury brand rather than a heritage brand such as Aero or Gold Top, for example. And I can't keep up with the prices these days. But if you can, fair enough. I do think the jackets are worth it. They're good quality, lovely jackets, very good style jackets. I'll say there's lots of styles, but there's more styles in other brands like Aero, and they haven't produced many styles in recent years. But yeah, for comparison, I'll show my Aero leather jacket that I've got. It's an Aero, what is it? Not half belt, Highwomen. It's an Aero Highwomen, which is their flagship model, which is sort of similar. Hang on, I'll grab it. My head's sort of in the way, but in comparison, I'll put some pictures of this jacket up. And this is a vintage 1980s Aero leather jacket, and the quality, as I say, I'll put some pictures up. It's a lot thicker than the Corsair. It's more of a full grain leather. It's got a lot more characteristic to the leather, a lot thicker, a lot heavier than the Lewis Leathers jacket, and much more of a utility leather jacket than the Lewis Leathers. And also with the jacket, it's got a lot of information about the leather. For example, this is made out of Connolly steer hide, so cow leather, and it's Connolly steer hide it's rose tanned, so the jacket smells of roses, it was very expensive to produce. They upholstered Rolls-Royce cars, leather seats with it for a while, and then the leather got too expensive apparently, and it came out of production at Aero leathers. But that's just an example of the sort of information you get with Aero leather and that sort of thing. I don't want this to become a video where I just talk about Aero leather, but I think it's useful, it's important to consider the differences between, and just the competition I suppose, in terms of straight leather jackets. And I suppose in one degree you're paying for the brand of Lewis Leathers. You're paying for that little oval there, as well as the quality and the heritage, the fact that they're made in London, and the clientele, the celebrity clientele. Whether that's worth it is up to you, and I'll probably leave it there. I think that's most of my thoughts. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of the jacket still. If you can get one on eBay, I would recommend doing that. Have a look at Aero leather as well, just so you can see the competition. But bear in mind, it's not got the same. It does have a large clientele still, such as Daniel Craig, Arctic Monkeys again, every leather jacket under the sun they have. But yeah, so that's been my brief look at Lewis Leathers. I'm not trying to slate the brand or anything. It's just something I've noticed in the last few years. The prices have been increasing, and one of my little niggles is the lack of transparency in the production process, and something to bear in mind. They're quite loyal fan bases for both these brands of jackets. For example, on Facebook there's Lewis Leathers Owners Club, I think, which is where people post pictures of their jackets all the time, and that sort of thing. So if you're into the jackets, I'd recommend following that group and having a look. But yeah, thank you for looking at my review. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I haven't annoyed too many people, too many fans of Lewis Leathers. Just my opinion. You might have your own opinion, but yes, that's my thoughts. So thank you. Cheers. Right, it's just occurred to me that maybe as part of this review I should try on a couple of jackets to show how they fit and everything. Sorry if the light in here is a bit funny. Alright, my Corsair jacket doesn't fit me amazingly well anymore. It's a size 36, I'm about a size 38 now. I shouldn't have worn a white t-shirt. There you go. It's lovely and soft, the cowhide leather, especially after a few years breaking in. And yeah, I just throw on this jacket and I used to wear it almost every day. I could probably still get away with wearing that, you know, it looks good. I couldn't zip that up. I'd have to proper squeeze. Yeah, so that's the Corsair, as you can see. I'll try and do it up, I'll have to breathe in. Is it done up? A bit tight, I cannot move. But yeah, this jacket basically just lives in my wardrobe these days. It's got sentimental value just because it was a gift. Oh, this is the Super Phantom. This is the vintage 1970s jacket. Sorry about the white, I shouldn't have worn a white t-shirt in here. Oh, this is what I wear on my motorbike, usually. Got a Honda CBF 500 if you're interested. And this is also very comfortable. It's about just as light, but it's less. It's a bit cooler than the Corsair just because of the lining. Now this jacket, I wear it as a summer jacket on my bike. Very nice, and it's a good fit on me, in my opinion. I like jackets when I'm wearing on a bike at least to be big. This is probably as small as I'd like it on a bike, just because I like to have the mobility and to be able to layer clothing. It's sort of like a blouson kind of fit, where it's more fitted at the waist. A very sort of 70s style jacket, this one. While the Corsair I've just chucked over there is more of a it's a 60s jacket, like a 60s highwayman style with the straight cut, no pockets up there, whilst the Aero does the pockets. And the Dominator Lewis Leathers jacket is like the Corsair jacket, but it's got the two pockets. and the Super Phantom, it's got two sort of glove pockets that you go in with your opposite hand, which is sort of funky. I'm always like, oh, where are my pockets? And it's also got an inside pocket. And as I said earlier, I think the zip is not original, because Lewis leather zips, they usually come with it's flash zips. I can get that to focus. My white hand's in the way. Yeah, but good quality, strong zippers on Lewis leather's jackets. I think some of them in the past have been Riri. I don't know if the ones on the... No, they're all flash. I think the Made in England zippers, good high quality zippers. While as this one is an Opti zipper, which I think would have been either a Riri or a flash zipper back in the day. But I'm not certain about that, so don't quote me. And then finally, just for comparison, I'll stick on this Aero jacket just so you can see the difference between the two brands. This is a much heavier jacket, as you can see. This will still probably stand up by itself if I put it down. And Lewis leathers, when you first get them, they're often very stiff. All leather jackets are in general. They're quite stiff. My horsehide jacket in particular, the Cyclone, that I remember it would stand up by itself, and even when I sold that about 2 years later, it would still stand up by itself. A very stiff leather, while as the cowhide, in my experience, has been a lot softer. Although, in talking on the Lewis Leathers owners page, it's been mixed, and some people say the horsehide is very soft. So I'd go into the flagship shop in London if you get an opportunity, try on some jackets, feel the different leathers if you're interested in buying one, and go from there basically, and look at the different styles. Yeah, because I've had all sorts of styles over the years. On eBay you'll most likely find, I think the most common is the Super Monza. I'll put a picture of it up there perhaps. I'm not sure why the Super Monza is the most popular vintage jacket. I don't know if it's because it was the most popular and that's why they all exist still, or for whatever reason. But yeah, Super Monza, which is like a classic biker style but without a collar, like a racing collar. Corsairs and Dominators, the straight cut jackets, you see a lot less of those, but they do come around sometimes, but they often go for big money, especially vintage ones, for 500, 600 plus. And you sometimes see these Super Phantoms and Road Racer, I can't remember what it's called, jackets, and I was very lucky to get that for £250 in my opinion. So quickly, that's the Aero leather jacket. It's more of a boxier fit. Lewis leathers, as I say, more fashionable, more of a slim fit. You can get the Lewis leathers jacket in a slim fit as well. But just to compare, this is a heavier jacket from Aero with Locaran tartan on the inside. Put this one on just to show it one more time. But as I say, lovely style jackets. If you can find one second hand, I'd advise going that way. But if you've got the money to splash out, you want a gift for yourself, I'd recommend it. Very cool jackets. Alright, thank you again. An edit. Just as an edit, I've remembered is that Lewis Leathers on eBay, if you have a look, they do sell they have sale items where they sell for £500 the jackets. They're new. I believe they're jackets that have been produced and then haven't been collected or that sort of thing, so I think they're mostly made to measure, so you'd have to definitely check your measurements and have a look. But if you have a look, if you check it out, you might find one that's perfect for you. You could get that for £500, so that would be another option if you're wanting a brand new Lewis Leathers. Apart from that, as I say, eBay is probably your best bet sometimes Depop or Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes Facebook Marketplace, you get some real bargains, but it's just pot luck basically.